Hey there, it's Carrie Rhodes. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and a brand new Stamp Set of the Month series. It's now September 2020 and I am here with episode 1 of my Bunny Burrow Stamp Set of the Month. This is the Bunny Burrow stamp set from Trinity Stamps. It's the first time I am featuring one of their stamp sets and playing with their stuff, and so I just went a little bit crazy because they have a ton of amazing slimline dies. So be forewarned that in this series this month you're going to be seeing some slimline cards. So every Tuesday in the month of September I will be bringing you new ideas with the Bunny Burrow stamp set, and I will also be doing a giveaway. All you have to do is comment on this video, and then I will be drawing a name out next week and announcing it on episode 2, and that person will win one of the cards or projects in today's video. So this month I am challenging myself to create a card and then something cute to go with it. So it's gonna be tons of fun. I hope that you love it. Let me know what you think of that idea, seeing projects besides cards in the videos. And I think we should go ahead and get started because, you know, I can really make these videos long if I'm not careful. So let's get started. Stamped all the images out onto some COPIC friendly cardstock with jet black ink from Lawn Fawn, and since I had the stamp set out, I went ahead and stamped it 6 times because I am going to be making cards with this set for the entire month. So I've got plenty, and then maybe I'll have some leftovers for future cards, and they're just ready to go. It saves time. I love it. I don't know why I didn't think of that ever before. Yeah, I don't know. All right, so now for the coloring. I am coloring all the images the same, where I color in the entire image with the lightest color, bring in my darkest color, add some shadowing with that, and then I'll bring back in my lightest color and blend out that shadow. So these images are small, and there are some areas that are really tiny to get your marker into. So it's hard to do a lot of blending with images like that. So therefore I decided to go with 2 markers and did that throughout, with maybe the exception of the house, the little burrow. I think I still only used 2. Yeah. All right, so I have the marker caps up there so that you can see the exact colors that I'm using. I did add some pink to each of the critters because I wanted them to have little rosy cheeks. I think these animals are super cute. I love little critters. I love woodland things. The theme woodland, I love. So I was trying to decide which of the little critters I like the best. I couldn't, maybe it's the hedgehog, but then I was like, oh, but the bunny is so cute. And then I like how the fox looks, and that raccoon with the pink cheek. I like them all. Yeah, so I decided to add a lot of orange in to this card, did all the flowers orange because I wanted this card to feel like I feel right now. It's just the end of summer and fall is right around the corner, and so that's, you know, kind of what's going on in this picture. We're having a mix of like bursts of cold weather and then returning hot weather, so it's starting to look like fall here and there, but still has the feel of summer. So I am bringing in some decorative paper, and I wanted like my fox and the flowers to really bring out that decorative paper that is orange, and I'll show that to you once we get all the die cutting done. And there I am coloring in that burrow, just keeping it lighter towards the top, and the door. I love the door. So again, I'm starting with my lightest color, which is E23. I just knocked the lid over. I have to turn my paper when I color. Does anybody else do that? These ladies in their videos, they're like coloring it like the paper never moves. I can't do that. So I just used 2 colors for the door, but then when I went around the very edge, I went ahead and added an E59 so that it had a dark shadow between the rock and the door. And by the way, the worm, I'm pretty sure the worm is what sold me on this set. I don't know if you can hear my dog crying in the background. Like, does he not know I'm doing a voiceover right now? He wants me to let him out of this stamp room. He begged and begged to come in, so I let him in. Now he wants out. Isn't that just the way of it? It is. Good thing he's super cute. So now I am going in with my gel pen and putting a white highlight on everything because that's what I like to do. So I am keeping my lines really close to the edge of the image, which is what I like to do. And then I like to add like a dot on their eye, dots on their cheeks, a dot on their nose, maybe a dot on their paws, but I love the dots. All right, here you can see all the markers that I use to color in these images. Now let's talk about the dies. So the die that cuts out the burrow also cuts the door so that it opens, and it also cuts out the window. So you can put the window back in when you glue it down, or there's another die that cuts out a window pane that you can add. There's a heart that cuts out the heart in the door if you'd like to do that. I thought that would be fun. I tried it. It wasn't too hard to line up. I didn't get it exactly right, but I just went with it. There's also this die that cuts out the rocks around the door. So you can have a die cut piece that you add on to this. And here's the window. You could also die cut. So then you'd have two die cut elements that you could layer up, or you could just go with the coloring. Now, since I hadn't put my dies onto a magnet sheet, I thought I'd show you what I do. I use a piece of magnet that is created to be a vent cover for your home. I get it from the hardware store like Home Depot. I have my husband pick them up for me, measure my sheet that they came on, and then cut a piece, stick it on with double stick tape, and there I have a nice little magnetic sheet for my dies to sit on, and the name of that is on the back. Okay, so now that that's ready to go, here's the other die set I'm going to be using. I talked about the Slimlines. Love them. This is the Scalloped set, and here's the paper that I'm using. It's called Fall-O-Ween, and you can see that bright orange with the polka dots is going to be my backdrop. And then I use the second size scalloped for like the front panel of my card, and I'm going to be cutting some Scenic borders from that. And I'm going to do like an inlay technique, which I saw on the Trinity Stamps YouTube page. So, or YouTube channel, right, if we're going to be technical. So I'm going to die cut my scallop square. I'm going to ink these up and then puzzle piece them back together. So not the top piece, but the one under that is going to be my sky. So I am taking some tumbled glass Distress Oxide ink, and I'm going to ink this up. I don't want it to be perfectly inked. I like that there's some spots that are darker, some spots that are lighter, because that's what the sky would actually look like. So I'm going to stick that back in with my puzzle pieces. Then with the ink left over on my dauber, I'm going to just dust the edge of these clouds so it's not too much of a stark contrast between them when I put them back together. For the bottommost layer of the grass, I'm using Twisted Citron. By the way, pretty sure this is my favorite Distress Oxide color. Love it! So bright. I love bright green. All right, then for the middle layer, I used a little bit of that Twisted Citron on there, and then I'm going over that with Mowed Lawn to get a little bit of a blend on this one. In hindsight, maybe I would have just done the Mowed Lawn because you can't really tell. And then, of course, I'm going to spritz that with some water and then pick up the excess water with a paper towel. I love splatter. So let's do some more. I'm going to bring in my watercolors from Arteza and use those to create some dark ink splatters. I found that when I use like distress ink, I just don't have enough of the distress colors to get a dark enough color that would show up on top. So I thought, let me try out my watercolors, and I love how it turned out. So I let those dry, and then I'm paper piecing all this, or puzzle piecing it back together on a second piece that I cut out so that I have a base for them. You could also just put like tape on the back, which is what I believe they did on the Trinity Stamps channel. Okay, so that looks fabulous. I love it. I used all 3 dies from that set, and this is going to be the backdrop for my scene. Now, when you open the Bunny Burrow door, what's inside of there? I thought about this for a while. Did I want it to be gray? Did I want it to be white? I decided to go with brown because I felt like it could be um, like it's dug into a hill. Maybe there's a hallway and then it goes back and it opens up into a bigger space. Yeah, so I did a little scrap of cardstock. I cut it down and then I'm going to glue it behind that door. And I just had to, you know, put it behind there, trim it, snip it. And then when I got it to where I wanted, I glued it in place. And then I glued the entire piece down onto my card front panel. And then I decided to keep the window that I had colored and just glue it back in instead of using any of the die cut pieces. I also like the way I colored my rock around the door, so I didn't puzzle piece that over the top. And then all my critters are getting put on with some foam tape, and then the flowers are going to be just glued down except for the one by the bunny. And then I colored my little flying bug as like just a fly or a lightning bug, or you could color it like as a bee. You could color that bug any color. Also the worm, you could color different colors. He's pretty cute. I really love him a lot. I loved the Busy Town books, and it always had Lowly the worm. Yeah, if this worm had a hat, it would make me that much happier. So I popped that front panel up with a piece of fun foam, and that finishes up the outside of the card. For the inside, I'm using the Happy Senti-mini stamp set because I don't know if you noticed, but the Bunny Burrow stamp set does not have any sayings in it. That's usually one of my rules when I'm picking out my stamp set of the month. I want the stamp set to have sentiments in it. This one did not. So it's so cute. I made an exception to my rule, and I found this cute stamp set at the Trinity Stamps shop, and I am going to use it throughout this video series. So this says, "You make me happy." So there's one happy in there, and then it has sentiments you can build with it. So that finishes up the card. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I love to know what you think, so leave me a comment below. Always in my first video, I like to just play with just the stamp set and see what it's like, get a feel for it, and then in the next weeks to come, I'll branch out. All right, so now we're going to make something cute. I am taking the smaller of the two scalloped dies that I used for my card and cutting one out from that Pool Play cardstock. And then I cut a panel that's going to fit on top of it that measures 2 1/4 by 7 1/8. It fits in there perfectly. All right, so I'm going to use the same Distress Oxide colors to blend a background for this. So I'm doing this one opposite. I'm going to ink blend first, and then I'm going to die cut my pieces second, still using that, you know, puzzle piece it back together technique. And we're going to be making a bookmark. This is my cute thing to go with my card. So here I am adding that mowed lawn right to the middle and just trying to kind of blend that out. But you know what helps? Splattering it with water. If your blend is not perfect, spray it with water. It always helps. But I don't necessarily, on a lot of my things, mind if the blend is not perfect. It's just what works for what I'm making. Sometimes, though, you really have to get it just right. So I die cut this out on my large die cut machine. This platform that it's on is like, it can fit an entire 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. So I just wanted to show you that, because if you thought it was running through a regular die cut machine, that is not true. So do you guys have a large die cut machine? I have to say, I love it. It is like, I don't know what it's like. It is a beast. It is so sturdy. It makes me happy. I like it. All right, so using the same sentiment stamp set, stamping happy, and by the way, I used Starlight ink from Altenew, and then there's a sentiment in here to make this say, if you're happy and you know it. It makes me so happy. In my previous life, I was a preschool teacher, so I love all the little preschooly type things. Makes me happy. All right, so now I'm going to puzzle piece this back together on a second piece that measured the same, that 2 1/4 by 7 1/8. And then I'm going to glue on all my cute images that I already colored. I colored them pretty much the same except for the fox. That dark red color didn't work for that card. So I just brought in a lighter color and lightened him up a little bit. Love how he turned out. So cute. And I did the flowers pink because I'm going to make this a shaker bookmark. And I wanted to match the little shaker elements in the package, so therefore I needed a touch of pink. I glued that down to my scallop panel and then marked where I wanted the hole to be for the ribbon, and I punched that with a slit punch. Yeah. Here is the shaker elements I'm going to use. This was a free gift from Trinity with an order that I placed. Thank you very much, Trinity Stamps. I love free gifts. I love making shaker cards, so of course this made me very happy. I'm just going to put these here and there throughout or over the top of my little bookmark because I'm going to use my Fuze tool. Now, let me give you a disclaimer. This is not the video on how to use the Fuze tool because this is technically the second time I've done this. I played with it one time. This is like the first time. So you're going to see this like, this is real life right here. This is not like, you know, professionally made how to use the Fuze tool tutorial. This is like, if you buy this, this is what might happen to you. I had a few spots skip right here. I had to go back over. The top looked crazy. Like it didn't look, it had the bumpy lines like the rest of it, but it worked out in the end. And I don't have the mat that you can use underneath. You just need a heat resistant surface, which the glass mat is supposed to be. So maybe that's why I didn't get like perfect dotted lines all the way down. I don't know, but it worked out good. I mean, everything stayed in. So you just trim off the excess plastic when you're done. You can use page protectors when you use the Fuze tool. I bought some of the plastic just so I could experience the real thing before I branched out. I brought in my ribbon scrap box and found some ribbon that I liked for this card, or bookmark. Yeah, and then I trimmed it down to make it a little bit more manageable of a size. And then I'm going to tie the two pieces that I picked together with this kind of burlappy twine-like ribbon. Isn't it cute? So then I have my like different textures. Like one of the ribbon is more like a matte woven finish. The other one's a shiny satin finish. Then I have this twine-like. I love mixing textures and dimension on my projects. I love it. All right, so there's my shaker tag. It turned out really good, especially for my first actual project with the Fuze tool. And I think I might bring it back for at least one more video for this series because I'm kind of liking playing with it. It's brand new to me. So those are the projects for episode 1. I hope that you've enjoyed it. Remember, leave a comment below and you will be entered to win one of these projects that I just made. It's very exciting. I love sharing them with you. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it is hard for me to mail these cards out. Like I have this hoarding problem where I want to hoard all my cards and just like go through them and look at them and show my friends when they come over. It's silly. And so I have just actually found joy in sharing with you guys my cards. So leave a comment below and everything is listed and linked for you if you want to check it out down there as well. Happy stamping. I'll see you again very soon. Bye.